Hey guys, Veebat here with another V Plays, and we just got done doing the other two Japanese aircraft as I was grinding experience for this plane, and here's something that's pretty cool. The Ki-84 with a pilot that actually has 5 skill points on it. I believe it's 5 skill points at this point, but we got a pilot that's essentially where he should be. And we've already talked about how cool the Ki-84 is, but even cooler is that we're actually getting to fly with Iron Death. For those of you who watch Postal stream, Iron Death is a common occurrence in his feed and very active in the chat channel. So it's great that I finally get to fly with Iron Death on my team, totally by happenstance. Since we are a lightweight, turny Japanese fighter with mid-altitude performance, guess where we're heading? Straight for the center, and we're going to go for the airbase. This aircraft demands trigger discipline. We can do a lot of damage, but the guns overheat very quickly, and if you've ever overheated the guns on one of these planes, which I'm sure you have, you'll note that it takes a little bit longer for it to cool back down, and as the guns get hotter, the more inaccurate they become, which you really can't allow that to happen. Not with this airframe, because here's something I'll give credit to. The Japanese 30s, they hit really hard, but oddly enough, and this is totally like in my head and I'm aware of it, I feel like they hit really hard, but it almost feels like I'm hitting them with a very light shell that happens to explode. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's almost like a bullet that's made out of cardboard, but it's filled with like some gunpowder. So the bullet doesn't do a dang thing unless you get a good solid hit on the target. So I don't know why that's the image that comes to my head, but it is. So I'm very cautious with expecting these guns to do anything. I just try to let the 30s hit if I can, and bursting is my best way to make that happen. We pulled that XP-58 pretty far away. This plane cannot deal with tail gunners. That's true for any of the Japanese planes. The hit point pool is just so low. Look at this thing. We're like, what is that, 274? It's hard for me to read on the screen down here. It's like the smallest number in the world, but it doesn't have a lot of hit points. And the damage resistance is also very low. So any damage it does take is going to be more so than what any other aircraft is typically going to be taking, because the Japanese are known for having the lightest planes. Well, what do you get for sacrificing that? You get a platform that's able to be extremely nimble, good roll rate, good turn rate, and while it doesn't have the best top speed, and the engine power that you get doesn't necessarily increase that substantially over the base engine power compared to other aircraft, it's such a light airframe that it really takes off when you hit that acceleration, and it gets you up to that over 300 mark very easily. And you see that as we're tapping the boost. It allows you to be able to get yourself into trouble. You're going to get up into altitudes where you're not supposed to be, and these planes, they stall. They stall for sure, and they stall pretty hard when they do. We do see that there is a light fighter that is closer off to the left. I'm going to go ahead and go for him, especially since it's a light fighter. It should be a pretty quick kill, because if we can get these guns to hit, we should knock them out pretty quickly. And now we have another aircraft that's somewhat nearby. There's another light fighter coming up from underneath. We'll give him a few little peppers here, and we'll vector into his tail. I really like those types of maneuvers. Essentially, we're just buying time by making a non-standard turn. Oh, geez, we took that as a ram? Wow, it flipped the zone, though. We rammed a heavy. Oh, that was a little bit hair-raising. I forgot about that. We do have a bomber overhead. Not, again, we don't deal well with tail gunners, and also, what was that? These phantom rounds, I'll tell you, because at first I thought it might have been the plane that's up there, the bomber, but it was not. It had to be leftovers, yeah, because now the ram's popping up. It's leftovers registering from the Ki-84-2 in the ram. Alright, so we'll dive down here, or 84-1 rather, yeah. And we're going up against this Focke-Wulf 190 A8. Easily going to be able to outturn him. Definitely don't want to get into a head-on with him, since he's going to be packing some pretty big guns. And there's that XP-58 we were messing with earlier, and that allows us to be able to recapture the airfield. Do we not have the airfield? I'm getting the sound that we recaptured. I'm not even paying attention to the zones right now, but you can see that we're actually able to overtake the 209 there, and I'm going to attribute that to the burst speed from the ability to accelerate very quickly in this airframe, while the 109 TL was most likely in a stalled climb. We're going to vector in on this I-250, which is clearly not looking at us, and we're coming up from underneath. Nearly every time I come up from underneath an aircraft, they usually don't notice me. Even bots don't really notice me. Look how much damage we took right there just from a brushing pass from a P-47N. Now, granted, he does have 850 kills, but it does show how weak this aircraft is. We are way outside of our altitude comfort zone here, probably about 2K above where we should be, but we are able to get some good hits in here on this player-controlled P-51D, and we will be able to maintain the tail engagement with him. If he were to have blown through here and kind of done a fast pass on some targets, we wouldn't have been able to get him. We just got Winged Legend, Akamatsu. Now we just picked up Conqueror. Now we have Guardian. Hopefully we'll be able to get Winged Legend through here. There's that 190 I didn't want to get into a head-on with, but good news, he's not worried about me until right about this moment, I'm guessing. And then he should have been really worried. But I'm going to go ahead and zip out of here and let the fire take care of him, getting me my grade 2 and Flying Guardian badge. And now we're going to dive in on the 109 TL, because where should we be? We should be in the middle, right? We took care of everything initially when we first got here at the very beginning of the game, and then we came back here after we exited just to go capture another zone real quick that was relatively close. We managed to pick up this zone, but there's still some aircraft flying around, so we're going to go ahead and look for an easy target. It's the P-51D. He doesn't look too happy about what happened to him earlier, so I'm actually going to try and get him to fly essentially through the loop I'm making right here, which then allows me to get on his tail. And he's turning. Yet again, if he were to just try and do a boom and zoom run, even though it failed, he could have just exited this situation, but instead he wanted to try and get into a turn engagement with a Japanese plane. Hopefully I'm teaching him why that's a bad idea, and maybe he'll adjust his tactics in the future. But there we go, locked him up, and now that was Squall Line just happened, so he's gone, unfortunately for him. So hopefully in the next battle he'll figure that out. We do have a Corsair up here at F4U4, so we're able to get some good hits in on him, knock him out, get the kill. So that's one more plane knocked off the battlefield. There's still an XP-58 player controlled floating around, and we are down a zone right now, even though we're doing pretty well. We were able to get that aircraft to overtake us, and now we're going to double back on him, but he's a little bit far away right now. Oh, good news. It looks like he's turning back towards us. And even though we didn't get the kill, I'm still thankful we were able to get some good hits in there. There is a 109 TL. Is he diving on me? Maybe. Oh, maybe not on me. He's diving on somebody else. I'll take that. And now he's leveling off right in front of my guns. Perfect. Thank you. So we nabbed that. I'm going to head back to the center because there's that XP-58 we were concerned about. I am calling for allies to attack aircraft routinely through this battle. It looks like we've racked up 15 kills here. There's that 58 again. I am a little bit worried about him. He is a dangerous aircraft, and he flipped my zone, that cheeky bugger. And he has a lot of hit points left. So rather than going straight after him, even though I really want to put some damage into him, I'm going to do the smart thing, and I'm going to pick the right targets to go after. So he was heading away from me. I'm going to go ahead and go after this Ki-84-1. Now that he's gotten up to an altitude where I'm starting to stall out, I'm going to dive back down and go after this aircraft that's engaging my ally. The I-250, much like the P-51D, he is an altitude fighter, more meant for boom and zoom tactics against light fighters like me. But again, this is a bot, not too smart, so he's going to be doing a flippy turn with me here. We managed to pick up Hero of the Sky here. We're still behind the zone right now, and the bots have respawned. Luckily, this heavy decided to climb straight up. which puts him right in our gun sight. You can see here we're letting the guns cool off. I do have a secondary fire button to only fire the 20mm cannons, so that way I can let those 30s recharge a little bit, cool off, and then I can get that burst damage we were talking about before. Love seeing already damaged bot defense aircraft. Now we picked up the Wing Legend, and we just picked up the zone. We do have repairs over here, so we'll go ahead and grab a repair, but at this point the game's pretty much locked in. Maybe I'll be able to find a target before the end of the battle, but all in all, solid game. Really happy with this result. I was messing with the keys there trying to get my sound back, if you noticed, but they only have 2 aircraft left, so oop, they picked up another zone, but it's a little too late right at this point. I did enjoy myself. Can I get some shots in? Good damage, good damage. No, of course I can't finish him off at the end of the battle, but a decent amount of capture points. We destroyed aircraft while defending, and then we picked up this myriad of medals again. So let's go ahead and go to the hangar and talk a little bit more about the battle. Alright, what a culmination for the morning of flying Japanese fighter planes. 1 away from ace. 1 away. So close, but we did manage to get enough experience points to be able to get that second skill point we were looking for. So we're going to go ahead and maximize this for the full maneuverability suite. It's essentially, we're trying to get this thing as turny as humanly possible, because at tier 7, this thing's going to have very few aircraft that are going to be able to turn with it. Granted, there are going to be things that can turn better than it, but there's very few of those, especially since we can kind of make it up to higher altitudes. Really, I just want to be able to take out those LA-7s easily enough. This is a great combination of guns. The 30s get that big oomph, and I've been really practicing with the Japanese 30s as a virtue of flying the Ki-84-1 like we did when we did that review the other day, but this Ki-84 has those 20s that allow you to get that sustained damage. So if you picked up on it, you saw I was getting some big hits, and then the 20s were kind of keeping that damage sustained. In fact, it's almost hard to tell when which guns were hitting. They seem to be hitting intermittently between one another, but the maneuverability is really good, and it has that stall turn capability. Someone had mentioned the engine upgrades only give you a 30% increase in engine power, but these aircraft are so light, the Japanese planes, that yeah, you saw it too. But you were able to do like a kickover turn really easy with these because the acceleration's there. You can get that nose over, so when you hammer down the boost, you get that speed back, so you get that accelerated turn that we like to do. It's a nice plane. I'm not a big fan of the universal camo being this kind of poop brown color, but yeah, it's going to be fun to specialize this and see how to kit it out. Again, I'm still confused why they take a lot of light fighters that are meant for turning and give them this extra airframe slot, because anything I put in here aside from this lightweight wing frame is going to adversely affect either the airspeed or the maneuverability. So which one would I go for? I may go with a reinforced skin. I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look and see like if there's any benefits here that actually really help me out. The resistance AA guns might be good because you're usually sitting inside of the AA guns a lot more, especially since you don't really have that speed. But it's something for us to consider. We may do that. That might be what we do, because I still want to have that good roll rate, because you saw how well we were able to take advantage of it. Overall, a very good match. Let's take a look here. This thing was a fire generator the last time I flew it with Postal. So what's my crits? 2 fires on that aircraft, 3 off there. So we only got 5 fires off of this, but 28 crits. So the 30s are doing their job. We were able to do fairly well, and we were out-tiered. We were out-tiered, and if I wasn't mistaken, I thought the Veebat 2U, was he specialist? He might not have been. But we were able to take on those aircraft fairly easily, despite being a tier below. So this thing specialized might be pretty nasty, to be honest with you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.